I served 32 and a half years in the Navy, and 15 of those years was enlisted, and bringing me up from E1 through E7 as a chief. And then the other 17 and a half years was as a warrant officer, a commissioned chief warrant officer that brought me up to the pinnacle rank of W5. Took approximately 26 cadets from Crystal River High School, and we put them in a boot camp environment, a real boot camp environment at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, so they can experience actually what it's going to be like if they were to decide to enlist in the Marine. Not, because it's different from the Army and the Air Force, but this was pretty much a little sample, and we were there for 3 nights, 4 days, and they basically learned a lot about leadership, drills, teamwork. Once we got over there, we also had the decision, just to make it clear, we also had the decision whether we wanted to do the touristy route or the boot camp. And of course, I chose the boot camp because I wanted that experience for them, because we do have several of the students that want to join the Marines.
Yes, sir. I actually do on enlisting in the Marines after I graduate high school. I've already began training, so I've been training for a while for parasailing. Now I just know what I need to train more of and what I need to train less of.
I'm a little torn because yes, I do, but at the same time, I'm very big at procrastinating, and I have to get some paperwork in, and that's not going to deter me, of course, if I really genuinely want to. I just want to make sure I'm not trying to take the easier way out, and I think I just need to do a little more growing up before I make that final decision.
It's the Marine Corps, so it's my future job I want to do. So I expected all of that to be. I expected it to be that hard. I expected it to be difficult, challenging. So all of my expectations were met, every single one of them.
So they were, but the most important thing that we also did is to coordinate this trip specifically because we wanted to observe for the first time one of our own from Crystal River High School graduate and become a Marine, Mariana Cruz, who was the former CO of our unit from the 2021-2022 class. I literally saw a transformation. I could just tell that she really, really showed her leadership skills there. She was running, she was just on top of her game. I just, not just physically, because I could tell she gained weight too, made more muscle and everything, but I just felt so proud of seeing one of our own here graduate because, especially a female to be a Marine, it's tough. And she made it to squad leader. And that's something that she should be proud of because I wouldn't expect nothing less than for her to be in a leadership position. And I know this program helped her get there because she knew her drill very well, and she was able to teach that to the cadets because of coming through this program for 4 years.
I was so happy for her. I was sad that she's leaving. She's finally a Marine now. She achieved her goal. I was both happy and sad that she's leaving us and with the Marine, and happy she's achieving her goal.
We kind of planned this way right at the end of the last school year, but initially it was supposed to be in July. And then when they came back from school, I announced that it got shifted to the right to September. And then the only thing that we really did for them is to make sure that they understood what the environment was going to be like, issue them uniforms. They had a list of things that they had to bring with them. So it was required to make sure that checklist was complete, to make sure they had all the required items that they need to stay there overnight. We did some PT, and we did basically just making sure that they understood that they were going to a 5-star hotel with private bathrooms. Just kidding. But anyhow, they all knew that was a joke. But they would really just being told the honest truth about, hey, you're going to be coming in an environment. You chose to do this. Because some people don't know what it's like to be in that type of environment.
I loved it. The drill instructor, don't tell him I told you guys, but he was nice. Some of the other drill instructors were screaming a lot, and then he just drilled us more. Like she said, we were cycled and stuff like that more than being screamed at, which I think really helped our cadets personally because, not everyone listens when they're screamed at. Some people shut down. I don't. I'll just blankly stare at you and be like, oh, okay,
I think he was just too hard or too soft on us. He was just perfect right there and then honestly, he wasn't. He was a pretty good drill instructor. Right? He wasn't like the ones that you imagine him to be like angry at your face and everything like that. He was more like a calm, collected type of individual. More like he would talk to you, but also make you run if you didn't do the right thing.
He was definitely actually a pretty cool guy. When we were doing our open ranks and closed ranks for our uniform inspection, he was giving me tips. So that was really nice. I didn't see other drill instructors doing that, so it kind of felt nice to be, under his wing.
It was, I believe, my personal opinion from observing them, they were all, well, it's always after the fact that they all can laugh about it and say they had a good time. But I think there were times when they were being challenged. And I think that they had a good little taste of, how a DI will interact with them if they are not listening or paying attention, and how they will get cycled, which is literally PTing them, sprinting back and forth because they're not paying attention to the little details. So I think that the cadets did very well. We were combined with two other Air Force units, one from Georgia and one from the local area, South Carolina. And the nice thing about it is that I did get a lot of positive feedback from the DI saying that our unit, the Crystal River High School, was the best, and that we had a lot more experience as far as drill and so forth.
There was one part when we had just got out of shooting the rifles, shooting the little handguns. When they PT'd us right outside of there, that part was a little difficult. I have actually shot a handgun, and that's why I was a little surprised when I missed every single bullet. So that was a little of like, wonder if it's actually accurate, or maybe I just suck. So I don't know. But afterwards, I was like, I could probably do that again. So I kind of miss it actually.
Physically, the hardest part for me was when he had us doing 2 inches. The push-ups. For me, I can do push-ups. I've done 50 and my arms came out, but I did 50. And mentally, the hardest part for me, probably the first night I had a headache really bad and it made me cry. And I didn't miss home or anything. I just had a headache. But I later found out that's because I wasn't drinking enough. And that was the hardest part for me, is making sure I don't end up with a headache at the end of the day. That was my goal by the end of the day.
Yes, sir. They surely did with the drill, the PT, everything. Without the drill, without my teachers, I wouldn't have forgotten that far as I did. And drill or the PT out there without RO. I wouldn't have gotten that far at all.
I can't wait to go. I'd rather get it over and done with now, so that way I can look back on it and reflect on how well I did.